Hey everyone, this is David Pike, the Motorcity Mechanic. Today's video is going to be covering the years 2008 all the way up to 2011 Chrysler 300s, Dodge Chargers, and Dodge Magnums. Now, the condition that we're going to be trying to diagnose is a cranking issue. Now, the symptom that we've got on this Dodge Charger right here is the customer will put the key in the ignition, they will turn it all the way to the crank position for the starter, and nothing will happen. Other times they can put it in, do the same thing, and while they're holding it in the crank position, wait 1, possibly 2 seconds, then the starter will engage and start spinning the engine. What I'm going to do is I want to show you the most common item that causes this. I've seen it time and time. It always ends up showing to be the starter relay. I'm going to show you where it's located, what the part number is, and how to remove it. Now, the fuse center that we're going to be working with is actually located under the hood. You've got one in the trunk for different items. The one that we're going to be dealing with is under the hood. It's on the passenger side. It's got a latch right here on the front you need to release, and then you can lift up. Now, if you try to look at the fuse box or relay box lid, what you're going to do is you're going to see some squares with numbers. No explanation of what's what. The starter relay is actually number 9. It sits off all by itself. There's 2 fuses near it as well, but number 9 is actually the starter relay. So if you try to pop this open and look, all you're going to see is numbers and squares. It's not going to tell you anything. Alright, so we're looking up under this fuse box here, and we can see all the relays and the fuses. This is the one that I mentioned earlier, number 9. Number 9 is your starter relay. It sits off here by itself like I mentioned. There's 2 fuses here. This is the starter relay. Now, what we're going to do for troubleshooting and diagnosis of the problem is we're going to try swapping a known good relay for this bad relay. Now, if you look, there's a total of 4 relays here that look almost identical, and if you look at the part number, they are identical. Now, the one I would be using to swap or test with would be one of these 2 here. These are your wiper motor relays. We're not going to be worried about wiper motors, so that's not going to cause any issues. This is a run start relay. We don't want to mess with that one because that could cause a different issue. So all we do is pick up on the starter relay, sit to the side, grab one of the wiper relays here. If you notice, there's a total of 5 terminals on the bottom. You cannot install it wrong, so don't worry about it. Just line up the terminals to the connector right here, press it down firmly, and then we'll go inside and we'll try to crank the vehicle. You could go anywhere from 10 to 20 times and see if the issue happens again. If it doesn't happen anymore, then most likely you're going to have a bad relay. So this is your relay right here. That's the part number 05269988. AA as an alpha alpha. That is the replacement Mopar OEM part number for this relay. And once you got the relay replaced, just go through the process of verifying it. Crank it, do it about 4, 5, 6 times, however many times you think you need to feel confident that it's not happening again. You're going to base that off how frequent it was before when you diagnosed the issue. If it was happening every 3rd key cycle, something like that, try to do the same thing now that you've got the relay replaced. If not, do it a couple, you can do it up to a dozen times if you want. Then just notify the customer, let them know what you did, what you found, tell them to kind of monitor it, because if it's an intermittent concern, you may not see the issue now and it may rear its head back up later. But like I said, that's the most common item I found is the starter relay going bad. Usually I don't see a lot of relay issues, but for some reason the starter relay is the one that I find most commonly on the 300 starters and Magnums causing this concern. So there you have it. Now you know what the most common issue is as far as the cranking concern. You know that the relay is the most common thing that I've seen here at the dealership. So if you want, if you scroll into the notes section right below the video, I'm going to have a direct link to the Amazon site where you can actually order this relay if you want it shipped directly to your house. So at this point, I ask for any kind of thumbs up on YouTube. Don't forget you can like me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. If you got any comments or suggestions about today's video or anything Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep and Ram related, please feel free to email me at david@motorcitymechanic.com, and I will try to get back to you in a timely manner. As always, thanks for watching these videos.